There's so many rules in 40K, hundreds of events, and constant updates. Skip the learning curve of Warhammer and join the pros. Art of War is led by multiple world champions with decades of success. We teach clinics, stream games, and inspire you to succeed at your favorite hobby. Join our global community of gamers just like you.
It is time for technical difficulties. I'm sorry, I meant to say fix my list.
Yeah, standard stuff.
Florida man.
Yeah, somebody, I'm not going to say who, but their name might start with an N. It might. It could be anyone. Could have been anyone.
Could have been anyone.
Yeah, may have put the stream as like why you should not be afraid of Leagues of Votan, a video we did like 3-4 months ago. So that's cool.
And also we didn't have an event up for this. So I mean, if you happen to stumble in to fix my list because you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't and you're seeing this later and you were like, maybe they're not doing fix my list this week because there's absolutely no event set up or notification. Well, thanks for showing up then too. Also, happy Thanksgiving for everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Woo! No better way to spend my Thanksgiving than with the people on Fix My List, the Fix My List community. We have tens of people here, and they're all very dedicated to the cause.
Guard.
Yeah, we got our first crack at guard, huh?
I'm down with this.
Oh, I need to I don't have the guard book with me. Should probably grab
You're
that, huh?
a fool.
Yeah, I'm a fool. I mean, how complicated can it be when they included like 4 units?
In relaxation mode.
Yeah, this is a very exclusive club. Anyone?
I like it. He goes, there's dozens of us. Dozens.
This is my favorite thing to do every week, though. For sure.
Well, let's talk about things and stuff. I mean, it's important.
Yeah, let's talk about Ronny. What a guy.
Ronny took some bullets to Born Soldiers. Born
He
Soldiers
did.
Battalion, because Born Soldiers, well, it's the besties.
It does appear to be that way. Born Soldiers, because it's a new book, Born Soldiers gives you 6s to hit or 6s to wound, which is nuts. And God, they keep putting that in books. They just keep doing it, and then it's a problem, and then they do it again, and then it's a problem again.
Never a problem.
Yeah.
Always a solution.
Yeah, Sean, if this is the slowest chat you've seen in a long time, there's a reason for that. This event was not set up properly. And so...
Hold on. Or at all.
Sure, that's another word for it, yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean properly? I mean, just the problem is when I get involved in a video, apparently there's a lot of hate from me down in Florida, and they're just like, screw this guy. We'll just slowly brush him out.
Yeah, this is a deep cut, Fix My List.
This is indeed. This is you have to know the secret knock and the handshake to get into this particular Fix My List.
That's right. You have to randomly stumble across the thumbnail as it pops up on your feed.
Yeah. I mean, having something set up, that seems silly.
Yep.
Exactly. Surprise Fix My List. It's a chat for the only list fans.
So
it's so funny because it's true.
Yeah, it's funny because it's true. Damn.
Okay. Well, weirdly enough, we're gonna get yelled at for why wasn't there very many people watching your thing? Yeah. Jack, hell of a win last weekend. Also, you've been dodging my calls, so I didn't get to tell you congrats.
The only time you called me was I was literally in an interview after one of my games. And I look down and I see, Brad Chester, potentially Chad Brester, hard to say. And I'm like, yeah, now's not the time, bud. And I hang up, I call you back later, and you're like, no.
I called you after that.
You didn't.
I did too. Look at your phone. I will put it up on the screen.
Oh, you're gonna air our dirty laundry?
I am. Be like, Jack said so many bad things to Brad. Why is it?
You did call me yesterday after I called you, but
Yeah.
I don't know I don't have an answer to that one.
You're like, I clicked a button that said stop ringing, go away.
Oh
Brad.
yeah, no, that was what it was. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this IG list.
Let's do it.
Tank Commander, Meticulous Calibrator, Gatekeeper, which is the big gun. Armored Tracks, because yes. 3 Heavy Bolters, Lord Creed's amazing daughter, Curdle Strachan.
Yeah. Ronny had her in as Lord Ursarker Creed, presumed deceased.
Presumed deceased. We've got 6 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 by million, 10 Cadian Shock Troopers. We've got a 3-man Lehman Russ squadron. That seems so crazy when you look at it, Lehman Russ squadrons. With
Yeah.
Executioner double plasma cannon, 2 mortar teams, 4 Chimeras, the Cadian Castellan, and 3 more Cadian shock troops.
Damn. Ronny really found the data sheets that he likes, and he went with it.
All in.
Like, Cadian shock troops just triggered something inside of him, and he's like, the most I can possibly take, please. They're not bad. Like, they're good, but I'd like a few more things.
Sorry, I got distracted by Nurgle Mats. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
We do play telephone tag a lot, Brad.
Also true. So, yes, we will come back to that, Snivar. Nice going to do in an IG Votan meta.
Not great.
Yeah, the answer... Actually, they're better into the guard than they are into the Votan. I heard that the tokens is a little rough sometimes for the Knights.
Yeah, it's not fun. They do about as well as turkeys do around this time of year.
Low. I mean, these guys don't even have Thanksgiving, man. Come on. It's a made-up holiday. Love it.
Yeah. Adam Lane, it's a time when you're thankful for something because you don't live in the UK.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah.
Shots fired, my friend.
Sniper knows what I'm talking about.
Let's talk about this. I want more indirect, and I want more bang bang, to be honest, for a change.
Yeah, so I don't actually know if I want more indirect. Right. We still need to find out whether or not the indirect nerf will apply to guard.
Doesn't matter because the order splashes everybody in a 6-mile radius.
Yeah, everyone.
The guy literally goes, check this out, and throws an order that way, and everybody else just kind of jumps in the way and goes, I would like that order also, sir. And they go, no problem. Look under your seat. Everybody's got an order. Order for you, order for you, order for you. Let's do this.
So you're saying that guard is like what's that? The street magician. Not the street magician, like the guy who like walks up to you and then like puts stuff in you, like takes stuff out of your ears, or you take off your shirt and he's written like your card on your back or something.
You're like, look at David Blaine.
Yeah,
he's like, you're about to have a surgery. I put something in your gallbladder. Oh, it's my card. So
there's a video on YouTube that's like really old at this point. But it's just making fun of David Blaine, where like they have a guy dressed up as him, and he's doing like increasingly like incredible magic tricks, like inserting cards in all kinds of places.
Yes.
Right.
It's a big thing though, because if they're getting the +1 AP, +1 to hit with the order, you're getting very good AP still.
Yeah, you do get +1 strength as well off Creed, which is the point where you.
I mean, it's strength 5 and strength 7. It's a big deal.
Yeah. So mortars go from our strength 5 base now.
Oh, sorry.
So
they go
from strength 6, which is a big jump. If you absolutely hate Eldar, and I do.
I was going to say, if we bring John on here, he's just like, why aren't you bringing more elf killing bullets? Is I think what they are called now.
I think if you take Creed, you do want some indirect. I do agree with that. I'm just saying,
if we have Creed in here, why are we not?
Not a lot, because the main part about Creed for people in chat, again, this is a new army, so we'll explain some of it. thing about Creed is when she orders you, not on the splash order, right? Like you order and then everyone within 6 inches gets the order. It's when she orders you specifically, you get +1 strength on your guns. And you have to be core as well, which limits it. So heavy weapons will get it, and they go from strength 5 now to strength 6 AP1, which is like just perfect for killing Eldar. The main problem here is you go to ballistic skill 5. I'm just going to assume that they keep the nerf, like that they lose the immunity to
the immunity. I think they're going to.
Yeah, it seems likely because we haven't heard anything, and the army seems. I really hope they do. Is my point. But the field batteries are good too. Like those and the field batteries are good.
I like to take both right now, to be honest.
You take the field batteries from strength 7 to strength 8, AP3.
Yep.
+1 to hit. That's good profile. And then Snivar, you know what? I thought we were on the same side here, but clearly not.
I mean,
clearly not.
You did make fun of Ohio as you lived in Tallahassee, Florida. So I was just like, what? Like, didn't somebody?
That's my secret. I'll make fun of everyone.
Didn't somebody throw an alligator through a Wendy's drive-through?
Listen, I'm not living here by choice. Okay. All right. I'm being held hostage against my will.
So I don't know where we're going now. Let's continue on.
So Guardian Direct, like the field batteries, because they go to strength 8 AP3, damage 2, which is pretty good. Like the mortars, because they go to strength 6 AP1. But basically, Creed is an indirect bot. So I like having 2 pieces that she can just give +1 to hit and +1 strength and +1 AP2. God, that's a broken combo. But
yeah,
Strachan, I'm not 100% sure needs to be in this list. Same thing with the extra 3 units Acadian shock troops. Same thing with the whole bunch of extra chimeras.
Plus, we don't have someone throwing down orders that I want.
Well, they have the tank commander throwing down tank orders.
Yeah, but I want like a commissar thrown into one of these chimeras so I can slap some double OPSEC on my troops and I can do move.
I do want Perfectus orders.
Yeah, we need Perfectus orders. I mean, the thing is that those are insanity for stealing objectives and stuff, especially early game.
Yeah. Yeah. You know who has Perfectus orders who's pretty good? Leontis.
It's expensive, though. You know how I feel about that.
He is not. I heard from John some slander about you, Brad. I wonder if you can confirm. He said that you don't like Leontis.
No, I didn't say I didn't like Leontis. I said I get a little palpitations. When I think guard commanders, I think some guy that just got 10 stripes after the previous 6 guys immediately died, and they push him out and go, you tell these people to be better until you get shot.
Tell you what. Do you think, we got Slanesh in the chat. Do you think, jeez.
Every time.
Hi, user. Get out of here, buddy. All right. Where was I?
Same. See? I'm all over the Rex, baby.
Do you like, here's my question. Do you like Morven Vault? Do you think she's good?
Yeah.
Would you like her little brother?
I mean, I don't know, because if Morven Vol had a couple cousins that could also buff like Morven Vol does and cost way less, maybe I don't invite Morven all the time. Maybe I invite Steve.
Yeah, but Leontis is Steve.
Steve
Leontis. He does everything that Vol does, plus gives out a bunch more orders, and is 110 points cheaper.
Yeah, but everybody else is like 30 points and stuff. These guys are cheap.
Yeah. All right.
Plus, I have to have a commissar because I can't sing the commissar.
Leontis gives commissar orders.
Yeah, I know. But he's not a full commissar. So I can't sing the song from the 80s. That's important.
It is absolutely hilarious giving a splash order for your opponent can't deep strike closer than 12 inches.
Yeah.
To your entire army. You basically tell demons to just go home.
Yeah. You're just like, hey, how's it going?
Stop. Desist. My 3 front units, you cannot deep strike within 12 inches. Enjoy.
You also you basically force them to put stuff on the table or the game's over.
Yeah. Yeah, if they reserve, they lose on the spot.
Right. So it's a big deal. I want that. I want enough orders. The big thing when you're looking at a guard list is I want the orders because they're amazing, but I also don't want too many people buffing and not enough people to buff.
Yeah, there's also a lot of troops here, but I don't actually think that you need all of these troops.
Plus, we don't
Right.
have any. We don't have any Karskins.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I want to turn these last 30 Cadian shock troops into Kashyyykin, because Kashyyykin are broken, and I'm not joking. They are straight up broken.
Well, they sound like they're just good until you realize that you can layer them like the biggest sandwich you've ever seen. You're like, hey
Yes.
man, these guys come with this, and this. You're like, but what happens? But wait, there's more. And then
Yeah,
you just start
so-
jamming rules on top of them.
Let me go off for a second. There is a combo that sadly means I can't run Custodes Dreadnoughts anymore. This combo is one Kashyyykin squad on average puts down 3 Custodes Dreadnoughts in one shooting phase, one shooting activation.
First rank,
And-
second rank, start with it.
Yep, first rank, second rank to go to heavy 3. You give them Leontis to get reroll hits. You give them the Finial of the Nemradesh first. You just have that nearby within 6 inches of the unit, so like it's really easy. And then you
Which-
1 CP 6s to wound.
Which effectively stops everything from being activated against them.
Yeah, so they go back to hitting on 3s because they ignore hit penalties,
Yep.
and they ignore feel no pains and phase caps. So then you give them real hits from Leontis, you give them first rank, second rank, and then you spend 2 CP, 1 for 6s to wound, are immortal wound, 1 for 5s to hit, are 6s to wound. Because they're already 6s to hit or 6s to wound, but now you can make 5s to hit, 6s to wound, and you reroll everything. And statistically, because you can do 6 mortal wounds per target.
So say
Statistically-
it's got the bad wording on it. I think it'll eventually go down back to everybody's, which is 6 mortals, period.
No. A lot of these 6 mortal strats are 6 mortals per target.
Gotcha.
Like Harlequin's one is.
True.
Anytime I activate it, I turn off my 6s, so like it doesn't matter.
I don't know. It's so busted when you're shooting multiple targets here.
Yeah, it's incredible because the average is if you split up your shots, you'll do 6 to 7, wounds to each dreadnought, which will be 6 mortals to each, and 6 saves at AP2. The mortals ignore the feel no pain from Emperor's Chosen, and now they fail 3 saves on a 4-up. Oh, look at that! On average, 3 Custodes Dreadnoughts go down to 1 Kashyyykin squad shooting. Pretty sure Kashyyykin are the second best data sheet in the game after Flamers, although it is close. I'm pretty sure Kashyyykin have catapulted up to the top. So I want to see 30 of them in your list, please. They're broke.
You just have to. It's funny because I kind of include those when I say I want either 50 X amount, whatever, and then 30 of those are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do need
Looks
to.
like we can only have 1 commandant.
I was just saying we got to lose the.
Sounds like we want, Leontos.
Fine, Jack. We put Leontes, we lose one of the Chimeras, and we get 30 Kashyyykin.
Yep. I think we lose the entire second detachment. We swap out Strachan for Leontis, and we just add in like 30 Kashyyykin. And then you can put like one of the units of Kashyyykin can be mechanized, so it can get out of the Chimera afterwards. One of them can have the Barbican's key to teleport, and the other one can just be like a unit on the board doing cool unit stuff.
Cool unit stuff.
And then if your opponent steps to you, you table them. It's just that simple.
You have not.
No. We will get to the Drukhari list. Now, something I do like, if we're talking about New Guard for a second, I do like Bulgrin with Leontis. Leontis can order them, nobody else can. So Leontis
go
gives
send
them...
your Bulgrin to Bulgrin heaven somewhere. Get out of here. More guns. More guns.
Brad.
Pew, 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 pew.
How do you beat Guard, okay? You beat Guard by tagging them in combat.
Pew, pew, pew.
You know what Bulgrin do? Bulgrin with fixed bayonets take their Bulgrin maul and stick a bayonet on it. Okay? Fixed bayonets, suddenly they hit on 2s and they're AP2.
Yeah,
all right?
You know what
That's
I'm not
pretty
doing?
nice, and they got an extra attack over last book.
Yes, I know. But they're not as bad. Bless you. But
I think they're actually pretty good. A unit of 5, they're basically Blade Guard vets, but with like -1 damage, and their strength 7 AP2 hit on 2s, 4 attacks.
sorry, but I can't talk about Bulgrins anymore because I do agree that this list needs more jetpack dinosaurs.
God, T-Rex shows up all the time. He's just a, he's been captured by Big Dinosaur. All right, he just comes in here to shill for Big Dino.
Josh, Bulgrin's making Wraithblades look like crap. The Wraithblades set the bar pretty low, so...
They do. Wraithblade's not great.
Yeah.
But Bulgrin, I actually think, are good. Like a unit of 5.
I don't hate the Bulgrins. I just think that the shooting and the utility of everything else in the list is just so good that it's hard for me to put them in because you have things like the Caskrins, just the units themselves being double obsec, moving, and then performing actions. You know what I mean? It's just, there's so many good things in this book for scoring in the game that I found the Bulgrins hard.
It is harder to fit them in, but if you do have room, and you have Leontis, because again, nobody else can order them, only Leontis. But if you do have Leontis, I like a squad or 2 of them. So
you're trying to say that Leontis is the Bulgrin Whisperer?
Yeah, he's the only one who knows how to talk to them. He grunts in the particular way that they like.
You know what? We're moving on to the next thing because this is going to devolve into Jack and I being insane.
Sure. I mean, a little late on that one, my man. But
I'm trying, brother. I'm trying.
Yeah, actually, broadside, we need Casterkin, period. I want 20 minimum because one of them is mechanized. One of them is like trophy hunters or something with Barbkin's Key. And then the last one still should just go in there. Like, you still want 30, but, that one can have, what is it, Gorillas? The veteran Gorillas? Yeah,
just,
veteran Gorillas.
Those guys can't possibly make it past the nerf, but we won't even go there. Let's talk about this.
You would think, but I mean, we're still in Flamerland, so like, what do you want?
I mean,
from me?
true. I read them, and I specifically said that when John and I were doing the guard first look or clinic, and he was like, "How many cats can I go?" I didn't want to put 30 in the list because I just assumed that they would be just thrown under a nerf destruction machine. So, but who knows?
I don't know, buddy. You would assume, but as I said, we're still living in Flamerland. No, they're one of the top 2 units in the entire game.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was talking about that. I just didn't want to base my list on the Caskrans because I just think they're going to get like top ring rope finishing move kind of nerfed.
Yeah. Yeah, the crazy part about Casterkin is I'm pretty sure you only want to give them lasguns. Like, you don't want to give them plasma because they have free plasma guns. You can give them 2 free plasma guns, and I think you just don't.
You don't. You just take the hotshot lasgun because why? You just want more shots.
Yep, you just take hotshot lasguns and hotshot volley guns.
Yeah,
and that is it.
You just want to re-roll as many dice as possible for the rerolls. Dude,
we're going to shoot.
We're going to Necrons, Jack.
We're going to Rord.
Rord 64. I'm assuming this is
Rord 69.
I'm assuming this is Eternal Conquerors and OPSEC pre-game move.
I didn't even look. Yes,
you're just like, yeah, of course it is. Okay.
Yeah. Eternal Conquerors and Relentlessly Expand.
Exactly. So Chronomancer with the Veil, 10 Warriors with Gauze, Transcendent Kiton, Locust Destroyer, Heavy Destroyer, single Locust Heavy Destroyer, single Heavy Locust Destroyer, Ghost Arc, got a Technomancer with a Canoptic Cloak, 2 units of 5 Scorptex, 9 Scarabs, 8 Scarabs, and 2 units of Ophidians, 3 apiece, 2 units of 3 Tomb Blades, and the Silent King. I kind of want more things.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. I definitely want to change some stuff. And I think it's going to start with those warriors in the Ghost Arc.
Yeah, I mean, that's 260 points that we could just make 1 unit of Immortals, to be honest.
Yep, and then you get 180 points back.
So
I'm not going to tell you to literally just play my Nova open list or the version that I changed afterwards.
I'm not going to lie. I was like really going, we should probably not say to play that. But let's go to Super Chats real quick.
Absolutely.
Super Balroth in the house. What's the best setup for Talisman of Burning Blood Relic? I love it, and I'm having trouble figuring out the best Legion loadout for it.
Which one's the Talisman of the Burning Blood?
Look, I'm not the person that's the thing. I've got this running. I'm running this, guys.
All right, I'm looking it up.
You have to look things up. We know what our particular roles are. You show up 8 seconds before we go live, make my heart skip a couple beats, and then tell me to figure it out. You look things up during the show.
Oh, it's in CSM somewhere. I'll find it.
Yeah, it's a CSM.
Yeah.
So in this, I'd like to have the third unit of Scarabs, to be perfectly honest. But we already have 6 fast. So I'd probably go with, you want a unit of just regular destroyers in here, Jack?
Regular destroyers? Yeah, I do love regular destroyers. I think they're really good.
It's a lot of volume, takes care of a lot of stuff. I do love me some Tomb Blades. I love 3-man units of Tomb Blades quite a bit.
They are very, very good. I think we can leave the Katana in, honestly.
Just one? I just like taking 2. If I'm going to take 2, if I'm going to take a Katana, I like to take 2, or I like to take one that bangs. Plus the Void Dragon looks so cool.
Okay, Talisman of Burning Blood, unless I have an old... I think this is it. Model's eligible to perform a heroic if it's within 6 inches. And then it can move either closer to the close enemy model or within engagement of an enemy character. +1 attacks. Every time it makes a melee attack that destroys an enemy unit, it gets +1 attack.
It's good, but the problem is that most of my chaos lists start with 1 or 0 CP and the full loadout on everything, kind of.
Yeah. So you're taking 3 warlord traits, 3 relics most of the time. If you're taking Talisman of Burning Blood, it's not terrible on like a Lord Discordant or something like that. But honestly, there's probably better relics out there. But if you want to do it, I think a Lord Discordant would be good. So something that doesn't already have a 6-inch heroic. So like a Master of Execution or something. So you don't want to put it on him. If you put on a Lord Discordant, then that's a pretty big area of the table you control with him, which is nice. You basically control a big objective.
Disco bangs.
Plus disco bangs. You can also give it to a Demon Prince for the same reason. He flies, so it's a lot easier for him to go and pick units up. And the +1 attack means a little bit more on the Demon Prince than it does on the Disco Lord. So that's also pretty good. Probably a Demon Prince would be the best one. If you're taking a Khorne Demon Prince, he gets... I think in the CSM book he gets +2 attacks as well. I'm not 100% sure. +2 attacks, +1 strength. But I could definitely be wrong. I know that's what happens in the Chaos Demons book, but, Demon Princes are different between every single...
book.
Yeah, every single book. Where Heretic Astartes Demon Prince. Oh, if he's Mark of Khorne, then he just gets, +1 strength? Garbage. Khorne add 1 to strength and attacks. And then he gets the mark as well. So yeah, I mean, that guy bangs, give him that, give him now the funny part is, if you replace a weapon, you can give somebody 2 relics. Because CSM, their relic strat is just worded that way. So you can give this guy Talisman of Burning Blood, and then give him the +D3 damage Khorne demon weapon.
Wait until World Eaters come out for real.
And then you can give him like reroll wounds or something. And then that guy bangs, Or the reroll hits, either one. Probably reroll hits, so you get the exploding 6s.
Oh, God. Why are you doing this to me? Subaru. Net comes in with the second. Boom, boom, 1-2. Thanks, I'm hyped for World Eaters. Also, so we send Brad with meme list now. Apparently, dock screens. Can we send him with bad moons next time? Whew, come on, man. I've taken some definitely different stuff to the last 4 tournaments I've been to.
Yeah, when are you going to start taking tournaments seriously, Brad? Is it just WTC or what?
It's I'm not even playing. This is the captain.
There. I mean, you can try Super Baharov, you know?
LVO, I will be playing a real thing.
Fair, me too.
Or will I?
So Ward Gaming says he uses the Ghost Arc to put something durable on objectives early. I get that, and that's not bad. The main game plan that I would say, though, is you want to probably put the Scarabs on objectives early. That's probably your first.
And if you're looking for something to just steal objectives, Tomb Blades are fantastic early. And if you're looking to keep something on objectives, I would put the Scarabs on it.
Yep. Like, you can drop the Ghost Arc, turn the Warriors into Immortals, and you get a fair few points back, right? You can use those to bump the Scorpex up to 6-mans, because 6-man Scorpex...
2 Reblades.
Yeah. 2 Reblades, first off. Second off, when a Scorpex Destroyer unit barely lives, right, it's huge. So, like, if they kill 4 of them and 1 lives, if they kill 5 of them and 1 lives, it's insane, because you get a couple back, and then you can resurrect 1. Suddenly you've got, like, a 4-man unit rocking around your opponent's side of the board. It's brutal. So having every single model to have as much of a chance of that as possible is huge for me. You also get a second Reap Blade, which is the main killer.
Plus, we can also get another Scarab, because we've got, it's a Patrol Outrider, so we've got 2 fasting still to go.
And all I'd want to do to add to this, really, would be I want a Canoptic Reanimator, and I want a Spider. And you can get all of that for the points that you cut, I'm pretty sure. They're not expensive. If you have to cut 1, you probably want to cut the Spider. The Reanimator is actually pretty nuts. It depends on the terrain you're playing on, though. If you're playing on GW, it's pretty easy to put the Scarabs on the terrain and the Reanimator behind the terrain.
Because he has to see them to be able to do it.
He has to see them. So if you put them on the terrain and the Reanimator behind, he can see them, but other people can't see the Reanimator.
WTC terrain usually? I don't like it as much there.
You can still kind of string back, but your placement's going to be a little more difficult. But you can get the Reanimator and the Spider to like weird places with your pregame move. Let me double check points on that. So you would get 180 points minus 60, and then I forget exactly. So you'd end up with 120 minus 15 for the last Scarab. You end up with 105, and you can put that into, you can take another Locust Heavy Destroyer if you want, and then take like one of the support, like the Canoptic Reanimator. And that's
can we even get another? I wouldn't even mind a little unit of Scarabs in here.
Well, you can take a little unit of Scarabs, but he's got 2 units of Tomb Blades, and in my mind, that kind of fills that role.
Yeah, I got you on that. I'm just looking for things. Necrons, when you're playing them, aren't just looking for efficient trading. They're looking for abusing the fact that they have fantastic secondaries that are best in the game. And the fact that their entire army's OPSEC, you're looking to steal and deny. Make it so your opponent cannot win after turn 3.
Yep. Yeah, your opponent. So good opponents will know that they have to table you early or they're going to lose. So that's the other half of it, is you need to be able to crack people if they run at you. So I would also change we're getting very close to my Nova list, but I would change, the Ophidians into a 3rd unit of Scorpex, honestly. When I played, let me put it this way. I played with 6 Scorpex and 6 Ophidians at Nova, and afterwards the only change I would have made to the list was turn the last 6 Ophidians into more Scorpex. The Scorpex are so good. And there also comes a point in the game where -1 to wound, your opponent just can't deal with them anymore. So you basically play extremely passive with Necrons. You just sit there and you just don't do anything turn after turn except score your points. If your opponent pushes you, that's when you do things. That's when you hit them. But you don't actually need to, go out and do anything, because you're going to outscore them.
Yep, you need to not die for 3 turns.
Josh Slee says Wraiths over Ophidians. I do not like Wraiths at all, personally.
I was waiting. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to say anything. I was just waiting for it, because I like Wraiths. Jack hates them.
I don't hate them. It's just when your opponent pushes you, you need to be able to hit them, and Wraiths don't hit them.
You know what? You're welcome, Robert. He goes, this is some great changes. Time for testing. Always time for testing, my friend.
But I do actually like how the list keeps a Transcendent Catan in there. Like, that's just cool. Oh, you do want some amount of plasma sites. They're only 15 apiece, so put them in.
They are fantastic for doing nonsense.
Yeah, they're great for doing not, yeah. You also get the trick of put a Transcendent Catan on an objective, right? You put a unit of destroyers or whatever behind a terrain piece that's not on the objective, and you put a plasma site on objective behind the Catan. They can't target the plasma site unless it's the closest, and the Transcendent Catan is closer, and they can't kill the Catan because it's phase capped. So the objective is objective secured, and they can't shoot the objective secured off. It's great against Tau.
I know. Plasma sites are so irritating.
Yeah, so with the 105 we have left, so very quickly, right? Drop the Warriors down to Immortals, drop the Ghost Star. For that, 2 Scorpex go to 6-mans, swap the Ophidians over to a third 6-man Scorpec Destroyer. Put the second Canoptic Scarab unit up to a 9-man. For that, you will have 105 points left. Buy 2 Plasma Sites, which will take you down to 75, and then buy something. So if it's the...
Buy something.
Buy something. If it's
buy
another unit of like Tomb Blades, fine. Buy a Spider, or buy a Canoptic Reanimator. I like Reanimator also because if it's just in the middle of your army and Tau go first, right? You're trying to make it so they can't see with a lot of stuff. WTC, it's a little difficult, but whatever. The planes fly over and they shoot, and whatever they shoot at, you know, if they shoot at your Scorpex or something like that, you activate 2 CP and switch your reanimation beamers. So it gets very, very hard to deal with, you know, your units when they try and alpha you. You just switch reanimation beamers and res, and then you res a model, and you're like, cool, we're good here.
Loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
Loving. I'm going to dark. Going dark.
You're going dark?
Dark Technomancer, that is.
Yeah, before we do this, I have a little bit of a disclaimer here. Yeah, actually, Broadside Reanimation Beam Switch is 2 CP. It's expensive, but hey, Necrons have a lot of CP, so whatever. So for this, also we didn't say, but you want Sky of Falling Stars, and then one of the direct fire mortal wounds, either the 3 up to do 3 mortal wounds, or the 2 up to do D3. But Sky of Falling Stars is gross, especially against Eldar. I kind of want to play Sky of Falling Stars into Eldar. Anyway, moving on. This one, bit of a disclaimer. I wanted to put Dark Eldar on stream, but so I did this list, but it was a screenshot of a list, of a WTC formatted list that they screenshotted and put up. Do not do that, please. That was a nightmare. I had to like zoom in and everything on a separate screen to get it properly. No, please don't do that. Most of the time, it will not get your list chosen.
Let's chat about this. We've got a Technomancer Patrol, Drazar, 3 units of Rex, 5 apiece with just all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Whip, Hex Rifle, Ossifactor, 2 units of Incubi. That hurts me already. Then we got a Blackheart Patrol, Archon with a Jin Blade, Splinter Genius, Ancient Evil, fights last, 5 troops, randomly got an Agonizer. We've got 2 units of 2 Ravagers. We've got a Void Raven Bomber, 3 Raiders with Disintegrators, Grizzly Trophy, Shock Brows. Then we got a Cult of Strife Patrol, Succubus, Triptech Whip, Competitive Edge with Show Stealer. I love her.
Yeah, she's so good.
A tiny unit of Blood Brides and 2 other units of Witches, 3 Reavers, 5 Scourges, 2 Venoms with more Grizzly Trophies, and 2 Cannons. I wait for it, everyone. I know what you're thinking. Does Brad want less things in this list, or does he want more things in this list?
He wants more things in the list. Yes. XE Broadside, you have identified the main problem with this list.
Yes, there's many upgrades. We can get so many units.
Stop taking upgrades. If he sees an upgrade, he must take it. And listen, I respect that, but it's going to make your list worse.
We need more. We need more beef actually in this. I want a 3rd unit of Incubi. I want legitimately half of these upgrades or more to be just chucked. I'm bringing rack squads. You're bringing tiny squads. You don't want a tiny squad with a bunch of upgrades because it limits the actual efficiency of what they're going to do. You're just spending points on it. They're also Dark Eldar. If somebody sees it, touches it, it dies. Instant. You give Dark Eldar a stern look, the unit goes away. So what you need to do is minimize these upgrades except for the people that are doing max damage, so we can get more people that can do more damage.
Yeah, so the racks, if you're going to be 55 points, bite the bullet and be ignores cover with double liquefiers. Like, that's just way better than this. And if you're going to, otherwise, I say you just be 40 points or 45 with an Asa factor so that you can advance, shoot, and then move again with never stationary.
I'd like to lose some of the, we have a huge footprint issue also. You've got 2 Ravagers, 3 Raiders, and 2 Venoms. Along with everything else, this you're just not hiding this. You're just getting shot. It's a big price point now after they got nerfed 4 times. Also, we got a Void Raven Bomber that we're obviously can't hide as a flyer, but we're kind of all over here in our identity. I want to hit harder. I want a smaller footprint. So I want less Raiders for sure. I want less upgrades for sure. I would like just more. I want another
14 on Bring It Down. Yikes. I don't want to give my opponent a good secondary.
Well, it's not even just 14 on Bring It Down. It's 14, an easy 14 on Bring It Down. Yeah, it's the problem.
It's pretty. So let's look at this, right? What in this list is going to help us actually hurt our opponent?
Incubi.
Right?
Incubi,
Drazar,
Venoms,
Archon, Succubus.
Across the top. Also, if we're doing this, is he got Drazar as the Warlord? Because I'd like.
He does. It wasn't clear whether or not Drazar had a trait, though. He just said Warlord, but that was it.
Then he's taking Eternal Hatred because I want 4 arrows on it.
I assume he is because somebody needs to have it.
So if we're not putting it on the Archon, Drazar's getting it.
I personally like having Drazar plus an Archon with Ginblade, Hatred, Eternal, Splinter, Genius, and a Succubus with Triptych, Whip, Competitive Edge, Show Stealer. Now, the reason I like not putting Hatred Eternal on Drazar, I like that. The reason I like that is because the Archon with Ginblade and no Hatred Eternal doesn't really do damage. He's
very hit or miss. It's just it goes into dice at that, or who you're fighting. To be honest, I get you on that. Exactly. But the thing is we need these characters to bang. I need another unit to Incubi, and I need less upgrades. I need less stuff.
Sure.
Also, the Raiders themselves, I don't want to pay even more. I want them to be bare bones. You can put Grizzly trophies on them.
If you let me get back to my original point, for cutting me off,
I'm done with you, sir.
If you let me actually finish my point before cutting me off.
Right
now, this list has 2 combat characters, and that's fine. It has Drazar and it has a Succubus. If you spread the Warlord traits to the Archon, you actually end up with 1 more CP and an extra combat character, right? Because Drazar still hits pretty hard even without Hatred Eternal, whereas the Archon doesn't hit at all without Hatred Eternal. So you hand the Archon Hatred Eternal, and that way you have 3 brutal combat characters. Now, Drazar isn't as good as he could be, but on average, your list, I think, is better. But I see people who like it the other way, too. So now I am done with my point.
Dude, I was waiting. I was patiently waiting. See?
I appreciate that. So there's a lot of upgrades in this list.
There's almost all of them.
Almost all of them. The Raiders don't all need shock prows. They don't all
No,
need
the Raiders
Grizzly
don't
trophies.
need shock prows at all. We need Grizzly Trophy. We don't even need this many Raiders. We can't hide this many Raiders, period.
Also, I don't understand why there are this many Raiders. Like, what are we putting all the infantry in them?
I don't know who's going. That's my point. Is you can put everything in there, but I would rather have another Venom way smaller, but at this point in time, I need people to take my objectives, which are the racks, so I'm taking everything off them. Because I've got 3 of them.
Yeah, that gives us 45 points back. Like, we could have 4 units of racks, or we could have 3 units of racks kitted out this way.
Yeah, I don't want any of that stuff. I also don't want at least 1 of these Raiders, possibly 2 of these Raiders, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, they're too large. Honestly, I would rather have another Ravager over the Void Raven. Like, we could just make this a double Blackheart patrol, but I would rather have 2 Ravagers or potentially even 0.
Well, the thing is at that point in time, if we're not putting anything for the Technomancer there's no reason for this to be Technomancer because we get no benefits from it off this. So we could literally go double Blackheart. We keep the Cold of Strife. I agree on that. Void Ravens are a 2 or a 0. If I'm going to go Void Raven, I'm going all in on just doing a massive amount of damage. Go for slam it out.
They're not even that massive amount of damage. They have 2 Dark Lances that are strength 9.
It's not even, it's the flyovers. It's the bombing run.
Yeah, it's the bombing run, and then you try and do some damage after that. I personally don't like Void Ravens because it feels like a go first simulator.
Oh, it is 100%. It's go first or play Poison Tongue so you can redeploy them because they are going away.
Yeah, they're dying quick.
Void Ravens feel like the old 1920 the flyer trying to figure it out. Pedal that bicycle. It dies quickly.
Yeah, I do like the Void Scar that Josh Lee mentioned. I had that in my Dark Eldar list, and they were very, very good. Just literally a unit of 6 dudes with Faithful Divergence, and you just they just held your home objective, and they cast Faithful Divergence every turn, and that was enough.
I agree on what Broadside is like. It feels the witches need to be consolidated down. I would like to see, if I'm going to take blood, the thing is, blood brides are so expensive now.
They really are.
I would just rather have witches, to be honest. For the bang for your buck is quite a bit.
I took a unit of 10 Hecatrix Blood Brides in the Dark Eldar list I took, and they were pretty good. Like, I liked them.
Oh, they still have great rules with their AP.
Yeah, the problem is if you're unit of 5 is pointless. Yes. They don't do any damage. If you're going to take Blood Brides, you take a unit of 10 with Adrenalite, and you take them with some weapon upgrades. You take them with like an Agonizer, or not an Agonizer, a Shardnet and Impaler. To keep people in. You can take them with Morvane's Agonizer too, just to guarantee dubs against things like
I would do that. I would do, if I'm going to take a 10-man unit of Blood Bride, she's getting Morvane's for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's like
but it also bangs though. We have a reason for one of the raiders now because we put 10 Hecatrix Blood Brides in it. We put the Succubus there.
Yeah, that I like. I actually do like Hecatrix Blood Brides because they give you that ability to just run up and be like, "Hey, are you Tau? Yeah, you can go to hell."
Yeah, Code of Strife. You know what I mean? Again, you ignore. Oh man, Broadside already stealing on my thunder with the thing. All the things he just put. Ignore Overwatch. They have Code of Strife strats. They're really, really good with that. Yeah. So you can pop the strat for obviously 4 up to shooting. So I like a lot of this stuff. We just need more. We need more stuff. I know it's crazy. Welcome, Isaac.
Welcome.
But I'm going to lose the plane. I want to lose the upgrades. I'm going to lose probably 2 of these raiders, to be perfectly honest. And we'll replace one of them with a Venom. But I also want another unit of Incubi. So I want 10 Blood Brides, 3 units of 5 Incubi, 1 more Venom, 2 less raiders, probably a less plane. Take off these upgrades because they don't really help us.
Yeah. So going through, you want to, in especially Dark Eldar, you want to divide your army into things that do things and things that score points, and that's it. Those are the only 2 categories there are: things that hit your opponent and hurt, and things that are just sacrificial and go score points. Racks are sacrificial and go score points, so you want to keep them cheap so that they just do that job, and they're 40 points. Things that hurt things would be things like Incubi or Drazar or Archon or Succubus, but anything that's kind of like in the middle, which is a unit of racks with like 3 weapons, meh.
We either take a billion racks or we take small units of racks to steal objectives. Also, exactly. We need a Court of the Archon. It's unbelievably efficient for its wounds.
It is very good for its wounds. It's 136 for 8 of them, and they're just 3 wounds apiece with a 5-up Feel No Pain and a 6-up Invul and 5-up Invul.
But with a ton of attacks.
A ton of attacks, strength 4 and strength 5. Their profiles have gotten, they've aged a little bit, but they're still quite good.
For what they are, you know what I mean? It also lets you push early. Certain things. But I think the 1 Void Raven's not helping us. I say we kill 2 Raiders and the Flyer, and we get 1 more Venom, and we get another unit Incubi. We make the Blood Brides 10, put him in that Raider. We get a 3rd Venom to put the Incubi in. So we want 3 units of Incubi now. We take the upgrades off, and we give ourselves a Court of the Archon, and that bangs a billion times harder, and we still have a crap ton of points left.
Some minor notes. The drugs that are on the Cult of Strife patrol, I kind of want to change around. The Succubus, in my mind, I really like having Hypex on her, because she already hits hard enough you want her to be able to get into combat, like to actually have the distance. And Hypex means she goes so far with
which
advanced
is
charge.
+2 to the movement. Right.
Yes, she goes 10 inches base, 13 if she's getting out of a vehicle, and then she advances and charges after that. She goes very far, and that means it's hard to like screen her out or anything. So I really like Hypex on the Succubus. The Blood Brides and Witches probably just want Adrenalite for the extra attacks.
I wouldn't mind that Broadside goes if he goes second Reaver Squad for harassment. Possibly then you take the Scourges and you put them in the Blackheart anyways, because I don't want them in my Cold of Strife anyways.
Yep. He had the Incubi in the Blackheart Patrol. I moved them over because of, it doesn't matter where they go, and the Blackheart Patrol is getting very full.
I do want I do want 3 of them though.
Yeah, I want 3 units of Incubi. They're like the best unit one of the better units in Elves.
Yeah. So again, we're gonna go 10 Blood Brides, 3 times 5 Incubi, lose 2 Raiders, give us a Court of the Archon. I agree with Jack. We take fights last off and we get full rerolls so that we have 3 beat stick characters. A character goes in 3 rides, of course, and then we have just options. But we got to take all these upgrades off too, because we need just more. That'll get you a bunch of points back. Like you'll probably get about 100, 150 points just off of upgrades in here. That's 5 points at least for each Shock Prow and Grizzly Trophy that you don't really need. The second cannon on the Venoms, you can take that off too. Things like that. It adds up. It adds up very quickly. You don't need Grizzly Trophies everywhere. You don't need Shock Prows. You don't need a second cannon. You don't need all these upgrades on the racks. You can get a ton of points back. I mean, at that point in time, I wouldn't.
You don't need the Agonizer on the Witches, etc. Like you just don't need it.
I mean, we could lose the Little Witches anyways, unless you're just looking to steal objectives and stuff like that. Because at that point in time, we could just slam like a unit of Grots down. We've got so many points left over.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to do is I want to cut the Witches, cut the Warriors, and just replace it all with racks. Just 40 points.
I would rather have racks everywhere because they are sturdier, and that people have to actually commit a little bit as opposed to just looking at them and them dying.
So racks are very, very good, and you can put racks in a You can put racks in a Blackheart detachment. They just don't get a trait. It's a weird way that
Dark Eldar works.
Dark Eldar work.
They work in mysterious ways.
They do. They're very mysterious. Who knows what the secrets of the racks hold?
But yeah, we have a lot more stuff that hits. We just have more stuff, to be honest. But it's actually more beef. You have way more hitting power. For sure, if we do what we're talking about. But
you can take all the upgrades off the racks, the upgrades off the Warriors, and the upgrades off the 2 squads of 5 Witches, and you almost have 2 extra squads of racks right there, just in upgrades.
Yeah, and the thing is we want to put them everywhere. We're trying to steal objectives. We're trying to take the board, score points, but we get more hitting power. You know what I mean? With another extra unit of Incubi, with a Court of the Archon, with a full 10-man unit of Blood Brides, and the changes of the Archon. We have a significantly more just damage coming out of this, and we have way more stuff to play the game.
When you spend a unit to go take an objective away from your opponent and score some secondaries or whatnot, you want that unit to be as cheap as possible because your opponent is just going to kill it like easily. So you want, when you just throw a unit away, for it to stay cheap.
Yeah, I'd like to have, and I agree on Broadside, this was saying earlier, I think that we should put a unit of Grots in here if we take out. We're taking out Double Raider and the Flyer, putting in racks, taking off upgrades. We 100% have the points.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, but I'm saying we have room for both, Josh. We have room for the Grots and the Court.
Yeah, just more stuff. Like this is a lot of air, and I want to see a little less air.
We want to be rolling just a ton of dice. We're Dark Eldar. We want to hit people with a ton of dice to pick people up, and we need lots of throwaways, and you don't need to upgrade your throwaways. I mean, if I'm using racks as throwaways or just random objective stealers, they don't want upgrades up.
Yep. You can keep Triple Ravager if you want. I think it's a little weaker, but you're going to lose a shootout with like every army.
Yeah.
But
2 Ravagers is fine to just ping in the back. I played with it a bunch of times. It's fine. I just don't need all this other stuff.
No. But what I'm saying, you can drop the Void Raven, become a third Ravager, and just swap the Dark Techno Patrol to a Blackheart Patrol.
Yeah, if I'm going to use it, I still want to drop the Void Raven and just get more people.
That too.
Grots and everything. Just things that are going to do damage, though. You know what I mean? Do damage, take the board.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really feel... XV Broadside says I like 1 Ravager for Never Stationary, 2 scares me. I don't really want to spend, 2 CP on Never Stationary just to get 3 Dark Lance shots.
Yeah. I'm spending a ton. I'm going to use a ton of Cold of Strife strats, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. The Blood Brides do soak up a lot of that, characters, etc.
So we're going to be using like a ton of strats off the Cold of Strife. Their strats are just so good.
Yeah.
Well, should we talk about Thanksgiving?
Yeah, a little bit, I think. I mean, I'm going to be going live in about an hour or so. Need to get some food, but go live about an hour or so discussing my final game with John at the finale. This is a really good game, and also Nick messed up his strategy session recording, so I'm gonna do one.
So, all of the things. Well, I hope everybody that's celebrating Thanksgiving has a fantastic time. If you're not, just do what America does. Eat way too much and stare at whatever sporting event you like to stare at.
Turkey, turkey, turkey. Also, I believe in the War Room, but maybe on YouTube, we're going to have a game go live tomorrow between me and Richard Siegler, themed thematically for Thanksgiving. And it is between some ludicrous lists. So stay tuned. It was a great game. There may have been a turkey monolith.
I like the turkey monolith.
Turkey monolith.
All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. And enjoy the holiday.
Bye-bye.